Hi, I just wanted to record a short video walking through our portfolio, make this snappy so you can watch it on your own time. So typically what I'm trying to help people with is the challenges that are very universal for marketing teams or companies that are trying to balance all the things that they're trying to do, be strategic, also have time for all the little detailed work. And typically, there just isn't enough time in the day. There's not enough time in the week. I felt this myself when I was working as a marketing manager in Wood-Mizer for many years. To balance everything out, to do everything that management was asking of us was a big ask. And you have to start getting creative, or you'll just end up working on the little hot list from today and not really progressing things that you're like, we really need to do this. This is something that we should invest time and effort into. Those longer term things, the bigger strategic moves, a lot of times they just then don't happen. And so that's why I often frame the question, what would you hate not to move forward on this year? And that's typically where we can help move that forward. Hiring domestically, expensive, difficult. Once you get a couple good people in, that's awesome. But then once they're needing some additional capacity, a lot of times, again, that can be difficult to swallow the budgets and things. And to really get the full effectiveness of that, marketing teams, we never can keep up with everything that we need or want to do, right? That is true. So sometimes we need to be reined in, and a third party can help that. And then outsourcing generally is frustrating. It's inconsistent. You don't always get the quality that you're looking for. And then a lot of times, and I've experienced this myself, I end up babysitting that freelancer way too much, and it's a frustrating experience as well. Agencies, really expensive. I just couldn't believe what agencies are quoting just for simple websites now. But they have to do it with inflation and all these things and all their overhead and ups and downs of their businesses. They got to do it. And management pressures marketing for progress and results and things like that. And that's a positive thing as well. But so why Greenlight Studio? So that was my background as a marketing manager, marketing person at Wood-Mizer for many years. And over the years, as I started freelancing, I wanted to build a team that could help companies that aren't too big, not too small, to solve these problems, because those were the problems I faced, and there were certain things that I put in place as a marketing manager that helped me move forward with Wood-Mizer on a lot of things that were quite ambitious. We help extend your team with marketing and media, and that word extend is really important. You have people who know your business, and I'm not wanting to take their jobs. I want them to be more successful I want to empower them to do their job better, more effectively, more efficiently, to progress on things that they've always wanted to move forward. Because honestly, that's best for me. If I can make them more effective and efficient, it's better for the business, and it's good for my long-term stability as well. So I'm here to extend your team, not replace any of your team. Because there's always just things that need to be filled in, right? So I'm looking for those ways. How can I fill those things in instead of take what they're already doing really well? I want our marketing and media proactive, consistent, with ownership and actually implementing it. So a lot of times agencies or freelancers, they aren't able to, because of the nature of things, they're not able to necessarily accomplish all these things. So that's where I want my team to fulfill all these different characteristics in the relationship, the working relationship. And there's me in a sawmill in Thailand, actually, a teak sawmill that does custom timbers and stuff at resorts and things throughout Thailand. Swedish guy that owns that place, a good friend. But yeah, 3 continents, 15 years, and mostly in manufacturing and boring industries, and that's where I enjoy it. I need to go a little faster. I'm probably boring you to tears. A little bit of pictures from my past experience in Europe, working as a marketing manager with Wood-Mizer. Actually, that's the WM1000 that Gobi Walnut has, but in the factory in Africa, and going and doing different things. So some of our clients over the years, Wood-Mizer, Kongskilde, Ziegler Group, Digital Woodcarver, ForestNet Media, Colville, and more. There are trends. They're more in agricultural or forestry industries, and they're more B2B. They're not necessarily direct B2C. So this is some of our team members. Some people have changed since these pictures were taken, but it's a good snapshot of some of the team that we're working with. And we're remote, we're skilled. Now, most of the people working with me 2 years plus and working on projects for Western companies. And so the team is really vetted now. And I've gone through a lot of different people and tried out different things and kept people who really understood the assignment and helped me level things up for my clients. So a couple of our clients and what we're doing for them. So all of this is custom. You're like, oh, what do you guys actually do? Oh, I'll show you a couple examples. But one of the things that maybe I should have said before is we work with the client to see what they really need. I don't just, here's a video type of thing that I do and here's the price per video. We are very reasonable, but we need to know what is really needed, what's going to be most effective, where do you want to spend the time, and then we help you refine that. We help you actually, what would make the most sense? How could we do that really efficiently? And then we go from there. So we have video editors, project managers, graphic designers, etc., social media people. And yeah, so for Kongskilde, Danish manufacturer, global, we've been on retainer for them since January 1st of this year. We help, our contribution is, again, we're not taking over things from the marketing manager. We are extending the marketing team that's in Denmark there. LinkedIn content and posting, they just couldn't keep up with that on a consistent level, like where it was thoughtful, etc. So we help them with that. We float ideas up. Of course, they're floating ideas to us, and we organize that into a schedule, and then we write posts and research posts and find images or find video clips that will match. We approve that with the marketing manager, and then we help her schedule that, and we keep her in the loop for everything. That's going really well, honestly. Very different product than I was ever worked with before. Pneumatic blowing equipment, conveying equipment for manufacturing companies, but using AI to build like a database of their posts and their products and who they are really helped us to produce better content more quickly. As long as we had the direction from them, we did some of our own research, and then AI could compare against things that had been written before and product information and make sure and help level that up. Right now we're shooting, big project is shooting customer videos. We've shot some in Europe, and we have plans to shoot some in Asia when I go back in a few weeks. And the US, we just finished a big trip visiting some of their customers last week. And the whole goal there is not just customer videos, it's like years of content from each visit. We interview the reps, we interview the customers, and then we have plans to not just make a big video, but chop those videos up. And we asked a lot of specific questions that we could use for social media and things like that 15 months down the road. So that's part of a bigger plan to create a whole library of really high quality, useful, super unique, super helpful content for their customers, their prospects, and make their salespeople look good and make the company look cutting edge. We give them strategy direction. We helped them come up with their 2026 marketing strategy. Again, because the marketing manager had a plan, but she was so overwhelmed with all the presentations and things that needed to be done by the end of the year. So I said, can I help you build that strategy, taking what I know is important to you? So we helped her put that together. 3D product renders we're working on. And the results, okay, I could say LinkedIn stats are up, which they are, in different things. But the main result for me, the main KPI is the marketing manager, she knows what she needs to get done, and she's ahead of projects. She's now halfway through the year going, wow, we are really ahead of where she thought she was going to be. And her boss is happy because things are moving along faster. Things that they had prioritized, that they knew they wanted to do, we're helping that happen. And honestly, their investment is very reasonable compared to what they would have to pay to get that help otherwise. And management is excited. They're seeing the results and they're like, okay, let's greenlight more and more initiatives. Some of the examples of helping them solidify their look on social media, helping them build, we updated a bunch of old case studies for them on their PDFs that they have on the website and their articles. But then, of course, we're doing the new video case studies, some of the 3D renders that we're coming up with, because a lot of their products just have cell phone pictures and things. So we're working with the engineering team to get those models over and render them up. Some of the shots from last week, there's me and Philly. Yeah, just a little smattering of some of the content, and you can imagine the videos that kind of correspond to what's going on here. When we do a video, we do as much in one day as possible to get as much long term as possible. And we also have to be very cautious that we respect what the customer is willing to do. So it's always that balance. But me and my buddy there with the camera, we've done probably 100 plus of these over the last 15 years. So we've been around. We know how to get what we need. Digital Woodcarver is another client, CNC manufacturer out of Indiana. They've been a client for 6+ years. And they don't have a marketing manager. They're a really small team, so we're their marketing strategy and fulfillment for everything. We started with revamping their website during COVID because they couldn't go to shows. And now we handle their lead gen, we handle their sales promos, their newsletters, their social media. We do all their photography and videography. And we arrange that when I'm back in the States, and then we'll do some photo shoots. Sometimes I'll have a photographer run over there if needed. Yeah, so they basically use us for everything. They outsource us for everything, and that's a little flexible. Each month it might look a little different, but we get what needs done. I'd be happy to put you in touch with any of these people if you ever have any questions or want to check how the cooperation went. Some of our social media, photo editing, etc., videos. Hopefully this does it. Oh my gosh, that's so loud. I hope that's not playing for you. It's super small too. Is the little preview gonna? Yeah, okay, the preview is gonna go away. Really cool product. 3D carving and CNC routing on wood, and for hobbyists and small shops and things like that. And then right now we're really focused on their ads and lead funnel because they're B2C mostly. ForestNet Media is another client of ours. We've been on retainer with them since January of this year as well. Another great new client. And for them, their YouTube channel just wasn't doing a whole lot, and they were really pivoting into offering digital media services to companies in the forest and wood industries. And they really needed to show that they knew what they were talking about. So the YouTube channel really needed to demonstrate that capability. And so it's like a portfolio piece for them, and it also helps them get into the rooms with people when they do interviews and things like that. So they have a contractor in British Columbia that shoots all their content, and he just sends all that footage over to us with some guidelines, and sometimes we script videos, sometimes he scripts videos, but the cooperation has been wonderful. Again, we're supporting him. He has the vision. He's been set up with, hey, what needs to be done? And we are just editing nonstop for them. Short form content, long form content. This video, they wanted to do a Vox-style investigative journalism video about a particular mill scenario that for this particular mill in British Columbia. And 40,000 views currently. And we did some little animations that helped to boost people's interest in, okay, what concepts are being investigated here. Excuse me. Anyway. And then last month they had over 1 million views on some of their short form content that we did for them, which is crazy and awesome, which is helping them say, okay, this works. The investment in video and media works, but you really need to put in the time and the effort, and it needs to be a long-term thing. So I love working with them because I've worked with a lot of companies who say they want to do video, and then after 4 months or 2 months, they peter out. They have to understand, and I try to help clients understand, there is a time investment, especially at the beginning, before it's really running. It's a collaborative effort that we all have to be in on. They can't just say, hey, you do our video and do it super cheap and it's all going to work. So working with us, some of our concepts, we want to have work done well and on time. So that comes in that touches a lot of different areas, but I feel like what we do, we're always on time. I think we have the right people. We're not overstretched with clients. We have enough time to dedicate to those clients, and it's work done well. So when feedback is given, we remember that for next time. That goes into our notes and things for next projects. So if it's on the plan, it gets done. And that's one of our important things. And I think we really do well with that. Team inclusion. So that's another big thing. I, again, want to stress, I do not want to replace anyone's team or people that they have working in marketing and things like that. I want to extend their effectiveness, their capabilities. That is the best scenario for me, working very remotely with companies like yours. I don't want to replace people. I want to extend their effectiveness because that is ultimately better for me long term. AI usage, I think this is just important to talk about as well. We always look for ways that we can be more efficient for our client, but in a way that actually ends up boost the quality as well using AI. So there's a lot of processes where we are now a lot more efficient thanks to AI. At the same time, we're manually reviewing that. We are not just spitting it out from AI and then just using it. We're typically going through that and going, that could be better. Didn't quite meet the cut here. So it's allowing the AI it does some of the creative work, and then we can level that creative work up because we're not mentally sapped from reviewing all these transcripts and things, which just kills your brain. So we try to be really selective with how we use that. We use pro versions of Claude, ChatGPT, Google Gemini. We train our AI tools on your brand, your audience, your market. And that the goal there is for efficiency, and not to hide that we're using it or trying to be more efficient on your behalf, not to do the work for us, but to do the best work we can for you. We want to retain our clients. And then we do like a market pulse. So every month we'll send a report similar to this on what we did last month, some of the KPIs, what we're planning to do next month. If you're too busy, we'll send that over as a video like this, where I'll just go through the report, hopefully more quickly than this. So I'm sorry if I'm going a little long. I'll wrap it up. But then every 4 months, the team tries to break out of that box and go look around, look at the competitors, look at what's happening in the market, look at what's happening with YouTube or social, and give you an update on what's happening in marketing, what's happening with your competitors. It's not like a crazy, huge research project, but it's just, let's make sure that we don't just stay in this little mold and get too comfortable. I think every 4 months is good. 3 months is too often. 6 months, not often enough. So what I try to offer is ongoing managed marketing, where we're not managing necessarily everything. We're managing certain things and doing it really well. So you can, wow, that is off the table. It is being done. It's being done well without you having to chase us. And a lot of times that's social publishing and that's actually on brand. That could be a newsletter. It could be flex support, where you just have these random things that come up. And so we just say, okay, the retainer is going to include some flex support. Proactive strategy is a lot of times a part of that. We always have the ability to take on more. We're pretty booked up at the moment, but I am looking for 1 or 2 more clients where I think we definitely have the capacity. Here's typical engagement tiers. And these are typical engagement tiers. So a lot of times I will be very happy to start doing some work with a client for a few months to help solve some issues and test out cooperation. That allows me to test you guys out, or you to test me out, and just make sure, okay, this is working. There's value here. But what I'd like to move to, because I've done it other ways before, is some kind of consistent retainer, because marketing works best over time. So I always encourage you, what could you afford consistently over time for the next 12 to 18 months? Let's start there. Let's pick a number there. Let's not go crazy. Let's pick a number that you're very confident you could sustain, and let's start knocking things out and getting things moving. As you see here, how many hours that usually comes with. We're fairly affordable depending on the service, $40 to $50 an hour. It's fair. Like I pay my people more than they make in their home countries because they're dedicated, they've learned, they've been trained, they speak English natively, plus other languages. It just that figure works for us, and I feel like it's fair for a lot of the things that we're doing. And it also helps me be competitive with local agencies and things like that are domestic that have to charge more, but they're local. So the foundation generally is like implementation. So I'm helping you implement certain things. We pick a few verticals or things that you need help with on a consistent basis. Maybe there's some flex support in there as well, where it could change month by month. And we start working on that, and we work with it with you, and we check in with you. But my goal there is to, as quickly as possible, faster than maybe you expected, you go, wow, that is being taken care of, but not only taken care of, it's been leveled up, and it's exciting, and I'm excited about it. The growth, the middle tier here, is more proactive marketing management and strategy. I'm not just implementing, I'm really looking at it and helping you craft other aspects of the marketing plan, strategy, etc. Helping you as like a fractional CMO or someone who's like what I call a co-pilot, where you're still in the driver's seat, but I'm there for a lot more of that high level view, not just getting things done and making sure that they're done according to your standards. Overdrive is more when there's a lot of things to get done, but there's also these larger projects, or maybe you just want more, because all of these are custom to exactly what you want. But typically an overdrive would be, we want social media on a regular basis, but we also have this longer term 9-month website project or different things that we just don't want to quote separately $20,000 for that. Let's just put it in as this retainer with this idea that's worked on in phases and increments over time. So your invoice then stays consistent. And just comparative value, here's what a full-time hire costs nowadays for someone with 5 to 10 years experience in marketing, who their full package, and mid-size agencies. An agency is being squeezed as well, because they have experienced people, they have junior people, and to get everything to work and to work across as many companies that the clients they need to come across, often it just ends up that someone at the lowest rung is managing your account. And offshore, there's wonderful people offshore, but I know, because I look for them and I build my team out of them, it's really hard to find them and to really know what you're getting. One last thing, strategy first approach. Even if we're just approaching this from let's do this, I never approach it as like we're just doing these little short form contents for social or whatever. Me and my team, we try to think of what is the client trying to achieve with this, and so how can we best achieve that? Sometimes that's just being more efficient, or understanding that there's a bar that we don't need to exceed for that particular type of work that we're doing. But what I love to do is start with a strategy, which would be a 15-month phased plan. So usually let's build the plan of what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, with what channels, with what constraints considered. And then there's a lot of times there's phases in there, because we might need to build up an email list, or we might need to fix something. So there's that construction phase in there, strategy phase, the leveling up phase where we fill in those gaps. And then we can then move on to the goal, which is like just we're implementing the strategy, the holes have been filled, and we can really get into a rhythm. And that's really where the power of marketing starts to be felt, because it's that long-term being there, showing up in these different places at the trade shows, online, in these different places, in the emails, etc. And they start to feel it. And then hopefully you start to feel it as well, because okay, things are working well, you have the support you need, and a strategy is actually being systematically pursued. So that's how I like to start. So what would you like to achieve this year? Let me know. And hopefully you watch this on double speed and have a lovely day. Thanks.